Hey guys, what's up? This is B coming to you from Guns and Accessories today. Well, the M22 ammo struggle is real. M22 has been showing availability unknown in my Walmart for the last 2 or 3 days. It was tonight's Monday night, and it's been showing up since I think it was Friday night when it first started showing up. Like I said in a recent video, I'm kind of done with M22. I've spent so much money on it lately. I just really need to just slow down on my 22 purchases right now. I've just let it sit there and just kept telling myself, just forget about it, just walk on. Well, I checked today, Monday after work, and it still shows availability unknown. Well, let me go ahead and tell a little bit of a backstory here, and then I'll refer to this in a little bit. 2 or 3 weeks ago, I made a video about my M22 ammo score then. I bought one box then as well, and I decided I bought enough. Well, the next day I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get one more box, just one more box. It's kind of like Guntucky said in response to that video. It's hard to let go once you've been doing this for a while, and it really is kind of like an addiction. But anyways, I bought that one box and decided, you know what, I really need to be done. The next day I decided I'm going to go back and get one more. So I went in the next day, and it was still showing availability unknown the next day. And I went in at lunch, and I saw this lady and asked her, I don't remember if I asked her or if I asked somebody else. No, she did. She ended up scanning it in the Gemini, and it showed that there was 2 in stock. She said there's just not any in stock, because she really didn't want to scan it in the Gemini, but I asked her to, and she finally went over and got a Gemini and scanned it and showed that there was 2 in stock. And she said, oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. We don't control what the Gemini says. We don't control what any of this says. This has to come from Bentonville. They have to update it. Usually the Gemini doesn't lie. The app may lie, but the Gemini usually doesn't lie. Well, she made up a big story. She ended up walking over to the paint section and calling somebody, and then she came back and said, I called the guy who worked here last night, and he said he sold it all. And I said, well, could you just go in the back and check and see if there is any back there? And she basically threw up her arms and said, well, where am I going to look? I don't even know where it would be at. That was it. It was at lunchtime, like I said, and I just decided, you know what, forget it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I really was not wanting to buy it anyways. I knew I was going to be spending too much money, so I just let it go, even though it did frustrate me, because I knew she was hiding it. Okay, so that's the backstory. That happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. So today, Monday night, I scanned it. It's still showing availability unknown. So I drive over to my Walmart, and I get to my Walmart, and as I walk past the toys, I see in a basket a Gemini sitting there. And so I kind of walk around toys looking for the associate that's working there so I can have them scan the barcode and check it and see it, because you know, you go to toys or somewhere over there where they don't know the ammo game, they don't have any skin in the game, they don't care. They'll tell you what's there, what's not there. But so I looked around at toys to try to find whoever the associate was there with that Gemini. I couldn't find them, so I thought, forget it, I'm just going to walk over to the ammo counter. So I went ahead and did that. Well, whenever I got over to the ammo counter, there was 3 or 4 managers standing right there at the ammo counter. And I noticed the guy sitting down at the ammo counter, and he was sitting there picking the lock. And somebody ended up telling me that there's another girl that works there that I'm kind of friends with. Her dad and my dad worked there at Walmart for a long time together, so I'm friends with her. And she said, yeah, they lost the keys to the ammo case. So they were all trying to figure that out, and they weren't really worried about anybody else. They were just trying to get that fixed. So I thought, well, forget it. So I started to walk away from the ammo case, and then back down by the toy section, I saw the associate grab that basket and start to walk away with the Gemini. So I hightail it to go and to catch up with that associate so I can have her scan that and just see. Well, as I get over close to her, she parks her basket and she heads off down the aisle real quick, and I was just going to wait for her to come back. So in that amount of time, I saw one of my friends kind of walk around the corner, and he said, what's up? And this friend of mine, he's a shooting guy also, and he buys ammo, and he's bought 22 ammo in the past. And I start to talk to him for a little bit, and so she walks back to her basket, and as soon as she walks back to her basket, I just kind of walked away from my friend. He didn't care. I walked away from her to go ask her to scan that barcode. So she gets out her Gemini and she scans it, and like I said, she probably doesn't know anything about the ammo game. She said, "Oh yeah, there's four in stock." So she clicks on her little lapel mic and she calls Craig. I don't know who Craig is, but she calls Craig and says, "Craig, where's your location?" She said, "There's a guy here. Said there's 4 cases of this stuff in stock in the back. Could you get it? Bring it to the ammo counter." So she tells me, "Go ahead, head on over there to the ammo counter. Craig will be there with your ammo." So I say, all right. And as I'm walking back towards the ammo counter, my friend has already walked all the way down by the ammo counter, and I see he's asking them a question or something, and whatever happens, he ends up walking off. So by the time I get down to the ammo counter, he's already a ways down, and I'm not worried about what he's trying to figure out. I'm just trying to get my 22 ammo. So I get to the ammo counter, and I'm hoping that Craig's going to be there, or that he's going to be there pretty soon. Well, as I get to the ammo counter, the same lady that I dealt with 2 or 3 weeks ago comes up and she sees me and she says, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I'm waiting on the ammo, the 22 ammo. Craig is supposed to be bringing me some 22 ammo." And she said, "Oh no, there's no 22 ammo in stock." I mean, she didn't even look, she didn't even think about it. She said, "Oh, there's no 22 ammo in stock." So I said, "Well, the lady over in Toys scanned it and she said there's four cases in stock." And she said, "Oh, well, let me see the barcode. What'd you use to scan it with?" And I got the barcode out, and she scanned it. She said, "Well, we need to check, because if it doesn't say BR, which stands for back room, even if it shows there's 4 there, it means that means that there's none here." So I was like, "Well, okay." So I let her scan it, and she didn't really let me see it. I tried to kind of move around to look on the Gemini, and she said, "Well, I'll go back there and look." So she goes in the back, and about 5 minutes later, she comes back with the 2 cases with the 4 boxes of it. And what I really think happened is, with all those managers standing right there, I think she decided at that point she probably better not try to play any games, that she better just go ahead and do it, and it's probably not worth getting in trouble for. And I really think that's probably what happened. If those managers weren't standing there, I wouldn't have gotten the M22. So she brought out the 4 boxes, and I bought my 1 box. She said, "Do you want your 3 boxes?" And I said, "No, I just want 1 box." And another thing that happened whenever she did that tips me off that she probably knows the ammo game, and she's definitely playing the ammo game. She said, "You want your 3 boxes?" I said, "No, I want 1 box." And immediately she grabbed the big box. She didn't even think about it. She scanned the big box. And usually for those people who've never seen M22, they try to open the box. They try to open it up and pull out one of the smaller boxes and try to scan that. She didn't bat an eye. She immediately went over there and scanned the big box. So she knows what that M22 stuff is, or she would have tried to open it up and see what was going on. She knew exactly what it was. And she was going to get me 3 of the big boxes. So I know she knows what's going on with that. So anyways, I bought my 1 box of it. And I decided after I bought that, I was like, I'm going to go find my friend and let him know that they do have some 22 in stock. Because when I saw him before, I really didn't know. I didn't know if maybe the app was messed up, because the app has been messing up lately. So I hadn't talked to him before we'd scanned it with the Gemini. So after I bought my 1 box, I'm like, I'm going to go find my friend and let him know that there's some back here. So I go and walk around the store for a little while and find him up by the pharmacy. He was there getting some stuff for his wife. And I said, "Dude, they got some 22 back there." And he's like, "Man, that is so wrong. I was just back there and asked them if they had 22, and they said there wasn't any." And I was like, "Well, you got to know how to play the game." He buys 22 when he can, but he doesn't know the game really. So I said, "Well, they have it back there. I know. I was just back there 2 or 3 minutes ago. I bought my 1 box. They still have 3 boxes of it." So he ended up, I think he forgot his basket in pharmacy. He just hightailed it back to the ammo counter to go get his box. So I was going to head over. I was getting stuff for my wife. I was going to head over to the groceries and get stuff for her. And I decided, you know what? I better go back there and make sure they don't try to mess him over on that. So I went back and was headed around back to the ammo counter, and the lady who sold me the stuff, who's played the game, she walks past me and she's taking a break, headed up towards McDonald's up front probably. So as I get back to the ammo counter, my friend is walking away from it. He's like, "They said they don't have any." I was like, "Nah, I don't think so. I know they have some." So we walked back there, and one of those managers said, "Well, I said, I know there's 22. I just bought this box," and I opened up the bag and said, "Look, I just bought this, and there was 3 more boxes not 5 minutes ago." And he's like, well, can I scan that? And he scanned it, and he didn't tell me what he saw in his Gemini. And they said, well, let me go into the back and check. So he goes in the back and comes back about 5 minutes later, and he says, well, there's none back there. And I was like, well, I know they have some. I know y'all have some. There was 3 more boxes 5 minutes ago here. And so he got to looking around, and he looked underneath the counter, and sure enough, those 3 boxes were tucked up underneath the counter. Now, to the lady's credit, or to her defense, whatever, the ammo case was locked and the keys were lost. So she couldn't have put it in there. So, her putting it underneath the counter, that was the only logical thing. She wasn't going to take it in the back. She couldn't do that, and she couldn't put in the ammo behind the glass because they couldn't open that up. But anyways, my friend was happy because they found him a box and sold him a box. But anyways, the M22 struggle is real, and I'm probably going to roll in just a little bit of this video. I didn't get any real good video. Like I said, it was after work. I didn't have my little handheld camera that I can conceal real well. All I had was my Galaxy Note 2, huge phone, the camera on that, so I wasn't going to be holding that and video and all that going on. So anyways, that's it. Scored my box of M22, and I'll show you the receipt from that I recorded there as I was in store. Thanks for watching today.